Good morning, retail traders. I'm Washboardjim with a sneaky snake trading strategy, and I'm here to talk about chart patterns, moving averages, and being in the now. And we're going to be talking again about NVDA. This has been an everyday scalper for me as we started going up in my swing. We went to 120 to 125 to 130, 135, and 140. And we had a 150 target on it, and all of a sudden we had quad witching last week, and it kind of brought the stock down, repositioning, I think. But for me, I'm still bullish as could be on this stock. The Fatcats think it's way overpriced due to the market cap of $3 trillion, almost $5 trillion, which is, I'd say pretty big. I've always been saying this thing's way overpriced on the irrational exuberance, how they've tried to make it a number one pump in Wall Street. So a lot of people got rich on this stock. A lot of the fat cats did. Some of them missed out, some of the smarter ones. But we had the split, and it brought it down for the regular, ordinary retail trader to get into the trade. But still yet, it keeps that same market cap. It's just a little bit bigger pieces, the smaller pieces of the pie, but the pie is still there. So I'm going to be trading this week. Now I've been scalping it, and I sold my long, so I'll be scalping it until we hit our support spot. And I'm going to go ahead and chart that up for you where I think support is. This is NVDA. I always like going to the website and reading the blogs and learning more about the company, so feel free to do that. But like I said, many fat cats are wanting us to go into other stocks to fill in that void. And Amazon, just other AI stocks that haven't done as well in the run. They've been doing that pump for almost 3 or 4 months now, and it's not panned out very much, but they're all still great traders. I mean, they're great trades to be taken, just got to be careful. We are in election year, and I did call a little pullback in July to kind of get back into these trades, but definitely there's going to be a little bit more bearishness, I think, in the market, but we'll just have to see about that. So let's go ahead and pull up NVIDIA chart. Now this is on the 20-day 1 hour. I got a support channel right here that I'm going to be looking at for the stock. Now there is a lower support, and we're going to draw a couple trend lines on here. One of them based on the body of the candle. Then I'm going to extend these out to the right. And go ahead and hit that default. So we had this little wedge here breakout. And the bottom of this channel is what we're going to be looking at. So I'm going to color it in. This is on the 1 hour time frame. So we did pull right back to the top of that Darvis box. That's called a Darvis box, a horizontal bullish flag. And we started getting higher lows, and she went ahead and broke on out and hit that 140 area. It had a nice little gap. And then all of a sudden they just wanted to become very bearish on it. But we pulled back to a solid support, which is the 200 SMA, and respected that. Now this is the support channel right down here, and that's what we're going to be looking at as the support channel. Let's go ahead and draw this resistance line right here, which is now a support at 124.71. And I think we about nailed that support level. Went to Thursday, and then Friday it kind of consolidated, but we're landing on that 200 SMA, which to me could be a solid support, but I'd really like to see it pulled down into this channel and have that low support right around 118.34. If 124.71 does not hold, in every pattern there's a pivot point, and we're going to draw that pivot point in right here. We're at 121.43. Now the thing can pull back down inside that channel and find a solid support if it does not hold the 124.71. But the 200 SMA gave it support here all day Friday, and we're going to see which way this thing wants to squeeze. Now remember, The fat cats want to get into it. They're kind of putting the word out that they want to see a little bit more pullback. Now, I'm very bullish on NVIDIA. As a retail trader, I don't pay much attention to the fundamentals, but I let the charts tell me how to trade. And right now, we had a real good pullback on this thing in 2 days, actually 1 day, 1 24-hour period, and it bounced on up a little bit. And then, so I think it's going to be a scalper's trade until we get down into these lower support level of this here Darvis box, and I'll be watching it real close. I mean real close this week. It'll be my #1 watch, because there's been so much momentum on this trade right now, and there's people that are still upgrading it to 150 to 175 to 200 bucks. But then you got another side says the market cap's a little bit too big and blah blah blah. But we're into the election year. That's my catalyst for being a little bearish in the market right now, and we just got to see what happens. It's so weird. You know, we got Biden that can't hardly speak. We got bureaucrats running the country, actually Obama and Hillary, and then you got people that just put the hate on Trump, which I really love Trump because he's a businessman, and I was doing very well when he was in office, but then all of a sudden we got this big inflation increase and all this overspending, and it's just not good. Not good. But there's so much uncertainty into this election that we're really going to find out on election day. Now, the catalyst for NVIDIA will be their next earnings coming out, or some kind of news that'll really catapult this thing back up to resistance levels. So let's see if we can hold the 118.34 at a low support this week. If we do start to pull back a little bit more, we could pull in a 5-day rule or a 3-day rule where we sell off and then have the bounce on the 3rd day or maybe the 5th day. Or if we hold the 200 and we bounce up, then I'll be using these moving averages on the 1-hour time frame for resistance levels. Each one of these will represent a resistance. So we'd have to break the 9 before we start to come bullish and move it up to the 21 EMA. That's the 9 EMA, the 21. Then we've got the 63 and the 50 SMA. Now the fat cats look at this stock. If you look at it on the daily, they say we're way overpriced and we should come down to the 50 SMA. And that's about where that gap starts. And that's right above just 100 bucks. I think that'll be too much of a pullback. If it does pull back there, I would go very long in this stock. I would go very long in this stock. If it doesn't pull back there, we got to see if it holds this here support level. And that 21 right now is going to be your solid support on the daily. That's the 21 EMA. And we did break below the 9. So it still got a little bit of room to pull back maybe, but we're going to find out. We nailed it. Vegas and I nailed it from the bottom. We called a little pullback. We got it, and then it ran all the way up to our $140 level, which is, I think, a real good call. And then we had quad witching, which is repositioning, which I think that's all. I didn't hear much about it on CNBC at all, which they usually are flabbergasted about it, and they say it's just going to be a little bit of volatility, but we'll get back up to the highs. And they didn't say that this time around. But I think it's because we're going into that election, and they don't want to say it. They don't want to, be honest with you and say, okay, the election coming up could give you a little bit of volatility. And that's what I'm thinking. So let's have a good day. This is NVIDIA. Market cap is pretty good on it right now. We're at $3,449 billion. So it'd be definitely, it's in the 40s. I think, I'm going to still be scalping the stock. It's just got too much momentum, too much volume, and I'll just be watching it real close, looking for my chart patterns, waiting for it to get in it on the knife when we come in first thing this morning and scalp that first hour and a half of the day. Then we'll see how she pulls back, and then if I can get a second scalp, that'll be fine. But it's only a scalping trade right now to me until we get down to the bottom of that Darvis box. are we here? Come on, Jimmy. 118.34, 121.43, and then support to hold is 124.71. Now I'm going to bring this over. Should probably already have this up here. Give me 1 second. I'm going to bring up my options platform and show you what I'll be looking at. It always seems like it takes longer when you're waiting, right? I trade with Tasty Trade. I don't have any problems of getting in and out of trades with this here platform. So I really like trading with it. So this coming week, I did scalp the next week. You know, I don't scalp the same day. Friday, I didn't scalp it Friday. I scalped the 28th. So these things can get real cheap on us. Now, you know, you want to get as close as to the money as you can, like 120 or 130 if we start to move up. We had 187,000 in volume at this level right here. And I scalped this first thing in the morning, did pretty good on it. So anywhere close to the money or in the money, you know, if I get in the money, I'll just buy 4 or 5 of them. If I get down here a little cheaper, I'll buy 5 or 10. Buy 5, and then if we dip a little bit, I'll add 5 more. But between the 125 and the 130, I like the 125, the 128, and the 130 myself. Those are the ones I'm going to be watching into June 28th. Now, I do expect some volatility, and if we do pull back to that 118, I'm going to be looking at the monthly, July 19. If we pull back, these prices will go down a little bit. I'll be hitting that 130 strike and running it back up. Or I'll get, if I can get cheaper, closer to the money, then that's where I'll be trading it. So that's it. NVIDIA, keep a good eye on it. This is July 19. If I decide to go ahead and swing it, if not, I'll be scalping the next week expiration. Between the 125 and the 130 area. Retail traders, this is a sneaky snake trading strategy where I talk about chart patterns, moving averages, and being in the now. And have a great day.